Hey, this is Luke Charlton here, and welcome back to the 15-Minute Climb Podcast. Very excited to have you here on this, again, still very cold Friday morning. I've just picked up my coffee, and I wanted to record you an episode about a very common copywriting mistake I see coaches make, right? Because they hear someone like me, the Aussie hermit, tell them, you want a really strong promise, right? You want a very strong kind of like result that you're promising. The stronger, the better, blah, blah, blah. But sometimes you can overdo it to the point where it doesn't really resonate with the client and it's not actually what they want. Even though, let me take a couple of steps back. It is what they want, but it's such a big promise that they don't feel like it's achievable. So that's when you kind of got to scale it back a bit. And so I'll give you a couple of specific examples actually. So I was chatting with a client this morning, and I was reviewing her promise. And basically what she helps is physicians to repair their marriage. So female physicians who are having kind of marriage difficulties. And we're working on her promise, the result that she's promising. And basically it's like, I will help you repair your marriage within 60 days so that he can, your husband can, be on your side, be supportive, be on your side, and you guys can be a team again. So that was my version. And then she came up with her version was, I will help repair your marriage and create a deep, intimate, fulfilling connection, and kind of like, an angle of having kind of like your dream marriage, right? And so what I said to her was, look, that's great. They do want to, it's not like they don't want a deep, intimate connection and to have this amazing, fulfilling marriage, right? They obviously want that. But in terms of achieving that in 60 or 90 days, really, is that actually believable? Is that even something that they, yes, they want it, but they believe it's possible with their current marriage? Because you've got to think about it from their perspective. If they're like a physician, they're constantly arguing with their husband, they feel like their husband is not on their side. They feel like they're parenting, they're on different levels, and yes, they would she'd like to have an intimate relationship, a deep relationship with her husband. It's just it's not even, I just want him on my page, I just want him on my side kind of thing. That's just that's all I want, right? In the beginning, let's just start with that, and then we'll talk about that other stuff later. So that's what I mean by kind of promising, almost like creating the promise is almost too strong. And I see this a lot with coaches with their copy. They'll say things like, have a dream life and have the most amazing life, or the most amazing marriage. It's you got to meet your prospect where they're at. Another example recently with a client, so she helps men or women who have recently, their partner has died, right? So that's what she went through, and that's what she helps coach people through. And so she offered something. Her promise was something very similar. It was like, hey, I will help you basically heal from the loss of your spouse, plus also have this amazing, fulfilling life, blah blah blah. That was kind of being a little bit exaggerating there, but that was basically the angle. Have this. The angle was it was, be even more fulfilling and happier than what you were before. Was the angle. It's paraphrased, but that's basically what she was saying. And again, remember, this particular client was speaking to a man or a woman who's lost their spouse, and they're still probably grieving. They're wanting to they've got a bit more of a positive outlook, a forward-looking outlook. That's why they're looking for coaching. How do I move forward? I've grieved, and now I just want to move forward. I don't want to particularly forget my spouse, but I do want to move forward and feel better, basically. So that's where the prospect is. So in order to, if you were to say hey, I'm going to help you create an even better life than what you had before, that's just that is not, yes, it's a really strong promise, but it's not clicking, right? It's not going to resonate. So the lesson here is, yes, you want a strong promise, but just make sure that you're actually meeting your prospect where they're at, and do they actually feel like that's believable, right? In the first instance. And the second instance, do they actually want that? Particularly if you've got a promise that's helping them get a result within a certain time frame, like the marriage one, helping them repair their marriage in 60 days. Do they reckon they can have an intimate relationship with their husband who they're not even getting along with right now within 60 days? No, it's not. Yes, that would be an amazing result, but they don't even believe that's possible. They don't even really want that within 60 days. They just want him to be on the same page with them, right? So anyway, the lesson here is, yes, create big promises. It's actually good in the first instance it's much easier to create a big promise and then pull back versus create a really weak promise and then try to make it strong. So what I would rather you do is create a strong promise you can, and then ask yourself, like, is this promise meeting my prospect with where they are mentally? Is it a little bit too strong? Does it resonate? Do I need to pull it back a little bit? And in doing so, that can get you a much stronger response. Okay, so that's why I said for the marriage, the client who helps with the physicians, like, I think a stronger promise is just like, hey, I'll help repair your marriage within 60 days so that your husband he's on your side, and you guys are kind of like just acting as a team again. Like, that's a good result within 60 days. Okay, makes sense? So with that being said, that's all the lesson is today. If you need help creating better promises for your coaching programs, it's literally the first thing that we do together in our Done For You or Done With You program. This is what gets the response with your advertising and marketing campaigns. That's why people are going to book appointments with you. So that's why we work on this, number one. And then obviously, of course, whoops, I just beeped the horn with a guy that's reversing. I think he thought I was beeping at him. Anyway, if you need help with that, he's going to get out of the car in a second and probably give me the finger or something. Anyway, if you need help with that, plus he's probably thinking, who's this Instagram influencer on his phone beeping at me? But anyway, if you need help with that, booking more, like getting your offer right, creating a system that turns paid advertising into quality appointments that you can turn into clients. And again, we give you the script to do that. Just go to apply.lukecheldon.com, and we'll have a chat with you. In the first instance, it'll just be a 15-minute chat to see if we can help. And then if we can, we'll map a plan on exactly how we're going to take you from A to Z, from where you are to consistent clients, high-paying clients with paid advertising. Okay. So with that being said, on autopilot, by the way, there's appointments coming in autopilot. So that being said, go to apply.lukecheldon.com, and then I'll see